Yeah. Hey, my name's Chris Cardinal. Stretch out. We have about 10 seconds here before the next slide goes. So I spent the last 8 years of my life in politics, working in advocacy for nonprofit organizations, on the campaign trail as a spokesperson, or I've been an organizer in the field. And every time that at the end of every speech or talk or rally, often more than one person would come up to me and say, how should I contact my elected official? How do I get a hold of these people who represent me about this bill or pothole? And there's basic levels of government that we interact with every day, the local, state, and federal. And at the local level, search is a little antiquated, and it often results in making a call to the county clerk to find out your mayor or council person, and often not even getting a call back. But at the state level, information is really disparate. Every state has their own functionality for search, and that's problematic because each uses a different platform and a different way to integrate. So there's data there, but it's kind of all over the place. But luckily, there's some great projects like VoteSmart and Open States who have helped to consolidate that information at the state level, but they have some usability and some accessibility problems for the basic citizen. For example, with Open States, you have to have an iPad or an iPhone in order to access their data as a citizen, but they have an API for techies. At the federal level, we have search systems for years, but those also have some issues. They often require you to take extra steps in order to find who your elected officials are. For example, a lot of them just ask you to put in your zip code, but you need your zip +4 if you live on the state line, so they push you to the Postal Service website to type in your address. And federal, state, and local search all equaled, there's really a lack of ability for people to efficiently engage in government. So that's a bizarre model because really what other employee wouldn't have to meet their boss? People can't engage in government because we don't have access to the people that we vote to run the government, and that's a problem. So what is the problem here? Well, the first thing that we identified is that it's not for a lack of information or data that people have this issue. It's that the systems are too hard to use. They're too complicated, and often if you do identify your representatives, you don't really know how to communicate with them. The second problem that we identified could be either the cause or the effect of the first problem, and that's that we have a really serious political knowledge gap. A recent Pew study survey showed that 40% of citizens could not identify the Vice President of the United States of America. 40% of people, the Vice President. So as representation scales down to the state and local level, the numbers of people who actually know who their elected officials are just dwindles significantly. So the Sunlight Foundation and VoteSmart are doing a really good job of aggregating data that's really powerful, but that data is not put together for the average citizen. So we've identified 3 societal trends that haven't really been taken into account for these tools to drive engagement. And that first trend is that well-curated and aggregated data and code is really the architecture of the future, and we're doing well at opening it up. But it's astonishing that we have not been able to produce an effective and easy way or the resources to find your elected officials. The second trend is that fewer and fewer people are really consuming local news through their newspapers and through televisions, and those are the ways that they were connected to their local community at those points. And the third trend kind of plays off of this a little bit is that people are staying connected locally and engaged and have political knowledge if they use social media. Because social media gives individuals the ability to identify themselves with groups, and when they do that, they're willing to share and willing to have things go viral. And a good example of that, and we're all familiar with these, is the SOPA protest in Coney, and SOPA ignited the largest online protest in history. 10 million people signed online petitions, 8 million people used web tools to call their representatives. So with this passion, what if there wasn't that barrier to contact those officials? Well, knowing there's a search problem and knowing that there's a political knowledge gap and addressing those trends, I created findmyrep.org. Just simple, connected, and valuable information. I built Find My Rep because people are powerful when they're connected. Social media has proven, and movements of the past have shown us, that it's not a matter of not getting the data, it's a matter of making that data easy to use. The bottom line is that connecting passionate people to the people who elect you should be easy. There are so many passionate people out there that connecting them with the government drives engagement. And when we engage our democracy, we make our nation better. And driving that engagement is my passion. Thank you for your time.